It began with a careless comparison, the kind of remark that slips out before you even realize how sharp it sounds. We were sitting in the living room on a quiet Thursday night, the TV murmuring in the background, when I looked at him and said, "You're not like my ex." The moment the words left my mouth, I knew they were loaded. I had meant them as reassurance, as a way of saying he was different, better in so many ways. But tone is a cruel trickster, and mine didn't land softly. His head snapped toward me, eyes narrowing. "Not like your ex," he repeated, voice edged with suspicion. "Yes, I mean you're not, you don't do the things he did." I tried to soften it, but the damage was done. His jaw tightened. "So you're still thinking about him? Still measuring me against him?" "No, that's not what I meant," I said quickly. "I was trying to say you're different. That's a good thing." But he didn't hear it as a compliment. He heard it as a confession. And maybe deep down he wasn't wrong. Because even as I stumbled through my explanation, a part of me knew comparisons don't come out of nowhere. He stood up suddenly, the tension in his body coiled like a spring. "Do you know how it feels," he asked, "to build something with someone only to realize you're living in another man's shadow?" Froze. His words cut sharper than mine ever had. "Mark, please," I whispered. "I didn't mean it like that." He shook his head. "You might not have meant it, but you said it. And words don't come from nowhere. You've been holding on to him this whole time, haven't you?" My throat closed up. I wanted to scream no, to swear that he was the only one who mattered now. But the silence between us spoke louder than my excuses. That night, after a long, tense pause, he walked into the bedroom. I thought he just needed space, that he would cool down by morning. But when I woke up, the bed was empty. His clothes were gone. His keys missing. He hadn't just gone to clear his head. He had left. First I thought it was a bluff. He'd stormed out before, always returning after a drive around the block, a few hours at the bar, maybe a night on the couch at a friend's place. This time would be no different, I told myself. He just needed to breathe. But as the hours stretched into days, the truth grew impossible to deny. He wasn't coming back. His phone went straight to voicemail. His social media, once filled with snapshots of our weekends and silly inside jokes, was wiped clean. Photos of us. Relationship status. Vanished. It was as if he had hit delete on me and everything we had built. I tried reaching out through mutual friends, desperate for any sign he was okay, that he was just cooling off. Most of them dodged my calls. The few who answered were blunt. "He doesn't want to talk to you right now." Right now. That phrasing kept me alive at first. Right now meant temporary. Right now meant maybe tomorrow or next week. But deep down I already felt the shift. The way his absence wasn't just space. It was finality. I kept replaying that night in my head. The look in his eyes when I said those 6 words. "You're not like my ex." I hadn't meant to wound him, but I realized too late that I had cut him somewhere deep, somewhere raw. And yet, wasn't he overreacting? I told myself it was unfair, that people make mistakes in conversations all the time. But when I stripped away the excuses, when I sat alone in the quiet of our apartment, the uncomfortable truth surfaced. Maybe he had left because he understood something I didn't want to admit. That no matter how much I cared for him, part of me was still holding on to shadows of my past. One night, unable to sleep, I opened the drawer where I'd hidden old photos. There he was, my ex, smiling back in frozen moments of a life that wasn't mine anymore. Felt sick. Why had I kept these relics at all? Why had I let them linger like ghosts? And more importantly, had he sensed them the entire time? The days blurred into weeks, and the silence grew heavier than any argument we'd ever had. At first, I was angry at him for leaving so suddenly, for not even giving me the chance to explain. But that anger eventually dissolved into something harder to face: regret. I began noticing the void he left everywhere. His coffee mug, once carelessly abandoned on the counter each morning, now sat untouched in the cabinet. His jacket no longer hung by the door. Even the air felt different, thinner, like the apartment itself had exhaled and moved on without him. I replayed our relationship over and over, wondering where the cracks began. It wasn't just the careless comparison that night. It was all the little moments before. The times I'd made side comments about the past. The times I had treated him like a replacement rather than his own person. He had been listening, collecting those moments like shards of glass, until finally my words cut too deep. The hardest part was realizing he hadn't left in anger. He had left in clarity. I remember the last message he sent me weeks after disappearing. It was short, almost painfully simple. "You don't need to apologize. I just can't be with someone who still compares me to someone else. I deserve better, and so do you." Reading it, my chest caved in. 'Cause he was right. For all the ways I tried to convince myself otherwise, I hadn't let go of my past as much as I thought. And in doing so, I had lost the one person who truly saw me, flaws and all, and wanted to build a future with me. I still think about that night, about the way his eyes hardened when I made that careless remark. I wonder if things would be different if I had bitten my tongue, if I had said instead, "You're nothing like him, and that's why I love you." But hindsight is cruel. Words can't be unsaid, and choices can't be undone. He left that night and he never came back. And now I'm left with the echo of my own mistake, a reminder that sometimes it's not betrayal or lies that end a love story. Sometimes it's just one careless sentence.